Hello and welcome to the SC Playbook NFL podcast, brought to you by proud partners Sasha Legal. This week we'll be giving you all you need to know after week 2 of the NFL, a huge week that was, and everything you need to know as well ahead of week 3. This week price changes are coming, so it's a huge week for NFL Supercoach. So make sure that you're listening to who we've got, the cash guys you bring in, the trade-ins, trade-outs, who you're fading, our trades, and also captaincy picks for this week. So my name's Jakob. I'm lucky enough to be joined by Josh Clutterbuck and Eden Richards.
Hello.
G'day. Make sure that you subscribed to this podcast as well on YouTube or Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening. So we'll be bringing you this weekly podcast right throughout the season, once a week. As well, we'll have weekly articles from our team of contributors, including these two fellas over at scplaybook.com.au. So make sure you're checking those out. Give us a like on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at SC Playbook NFL. Also, the SC Playbook Unlimited League. The code is 819860. So make sure that you're joining us there. Take us all on. If you can knock us all off and you're a subscriber, it's $1,000 in cash to the winner of that league if you're a subscriber. If it's a non-subscriber that wins, it's $500 that you'll be getting and $500 to the top ranked subscriber. So it pays to be subscribed there. Also with the subscription package, you get access to the premium content, including extra articles and the WhatsApp community, as well as that league prize money and more for less than $2 a week. So you can sign up for that via the menu on our website. Fellas, before we go any further, 2 weeks now in the books. How did we go this week in NFL Supercoach?
Oh, Eden, you can go first, mate.
I really don't want to. Bang average, which is really disappointing. I've felt the highs and lows now, I think. I don't even want to say it. 416 for me. It all started captaining Allen, which didn't go to plan, and then Chase Brown let me down. Drake London let me down. The Philly Eagles defense is really not producing what I thought they'd produce. So, yeah, there's a few problems at the moment that I need to fix, but luckily got plenty of trades. So,
yeah, that's it. Look, I am absolutely stoked with how I went this week. I'll just do a couple of rankings for everyone listening out there. This week I scored 580, which now puts me number 10 in the rankings, number 1 in Queensland, and number 2 in the New England Patriots rankings. I think I'm also number 2 in the SC Playbook at the moment. So, look, if you're wanting to get that $1,000, good luck, bruh, is all I'll say, because I came out of the blocks firing this week. Very, very happy. Some notable performances and just a couple of my close friends I'd like to shout out are Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Malik Neighbours. I'm so stoked with how everything went. I thought I even went even better at the end of today's game, but it was White, not Irving, going over for the Buccaneers at the very end of the game. But probably my most disappointing performance was also Josh Allen. I did text during the week, just before the games kicked off, that the last 2 times that Jackson and Allen played the teams they were playing on the weekend, the Browns and the Jets, they'd scored around 40, 50 points. But I sort of preferred the matchup for Jackson against the Browns because they just stink. And there'd been a lot of trash talking coming out of the Cleveland camp. And yeah, Josh Allen had a very quiet game against the Jets. So I'm pretty happy with that. Didn't have any points on the bench, which is always good to see. Loop has been awesome as a kicker for me. The Ravens D came up clutch as well. But yeah, look, all round pretty good performances for my starters. The bench was a little bit how you going, but we'll get into that later. But Funky, how'd you go yourself, bro?
447. So
we should just go home.
Yeah,
it's the Josh Clutterbuck show. It's the Josh Clutterbuck show.
There we go.
Yeah, so some so-called experts we are, but no, I think Clutsy's clearly been on the ball early. Myself, not so much. So 447. I'm currently ranked 4,834th overall.
Nice.
Yep, no, not good. 721 in the great state of Queensland. So I'm even, I'm falling away a little bit there. But
it's all right, boys. It's all right. We're coming into week 3. This is all good.
It's a long season. We're good. I'd like to especially shout out the Denver Broncos defense for scoring me 0 points.
Oh, nice, dude.
This week.
I don't think anyone saw that coming.
Against Indy, who, Danny Dimes is suddenly just god tier apparently. So
Yeah, always has been.
anyway, moving on, always onwards and upwards for next week. As we said at the top of the show, price rises are coming. So it's a really big week. I think there's going to be probably a lot of people using boosts and all that sort of thing as well. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But with that, I think plenty of movement on the trade market as well. The number one most traded out player this week is Drake London, receiver from the Falcons. What do we think?
I think we're of mixed opinions on this one. I think I'm still trying to get my head around a little bit, like with the Supercoach aspect, if I want to be keeping him because he hasn't been performing. He does have a break even of 52. And for those people not familiar who've come across from fantasy, basically a break even is, are they going to keep their money or not? So if Drake London goes on and scores 52 points this week, which there's an 8% chance of him getting that, he'll maintain his current price. But if he doesn't, he's going to drop money, or if he goes over, he might make some money as well. So he's set to lose $1.6 million at the moment. I'm of the opinion that he is a number one receiver in what could be a very high-powered offense by the end of the year. Now, I personally don't have Drake London, but what was promising to me was I think they got 5 or 6 field goals.
Yeah,
they won the game. To be in that position to get those 5 or 6 field goals, you're obviously doing something right with your offense. It's just that last bit of execution. So my sort of thinking there with Drake is that he's going to get in more scoring positions as the season goes on. But I can sort of see where people panicking a little bit there, being like, holy shit, like, you know, $15.95 million. I could invest that into a lot of other options at the moment. But personally, I think it's a bit of an overreaction, but happy to hear otherwise.
I'm an owner, and I have been thinking a lot about this. And because they've got Carolina in week 3, I'm going to keep him, I think.
Nice.
I think that's a really, really good matchup for him. It's panic stations if he struggles against the Panthers. Their defense hasn't been doing that great. And then, let's be honest, they're not actually a very good team. So I think he should get plenty of opportunity there. But it's a big risk because, again, his break-even's 52. If he has another stinker, he starts losing a lot of money.
Yep.
Then you're in a bit of trouble. But I'm keeping the faith because I still think they have enough firepower in that Falcons team to put on plenty of points next week. And I'm really hoping so because, as I said, at the start of the season, I think they're a playoff chance, but they've got to put these teams away. So,
yeah. Panic's only 21 pass attempts, I think is a bit concerning. Like, they ran the absolute hell out of the ball, 38 rushes between Robinson and Algier. So, yeah, only 4 targets falling down, a bit concerning. But I think, as you said, we'll see next week if he's someone that you're really, really going to be worried about.
If they were taking on a Green Bay or someone like that, I probably would be trading this week. But because of the matchup, I'm just going to hold the faith because one good score and suddenly that break even changes dramatically. So.
100%.
So moving on, the number 2 and number 3 most traded out players are Amarian Hampton and Matthew Golden, and we'll actually loop these in with a couple other rookies that are in here as well. Travis Hunter's number 8 and Colston Loveland from Chicago is the number 9 most traded out player this week. So these are all 4 of them rookies, all 4 of them disappointing to start the season. Are you selling these guys, or do you think people should be holding?
Look, we'll get to the trades later, obviously. There's a couple. I owned 3 out of the 4 of those. I never owned Loveland because I was worried about the competition with Komet and just the other targets that they have over there in Chicago. You know, there's other people that are eating more of the pie over there. Hampton, I still think he's got something there. Golden, I am concerned about. Hunter, I'm concerned about. So Hampton I am concerned about as well. The drop was not good. You usually typically expect a Chargers team to be running it a lot more, but Najee Harris has been looking good there. I think we were talking off camera, like Golden could have had like a 50-yard reception, didn't go well. I think purely because this is week 3, I was tempted. Like, I don't know, Golden's got a really good matchup against Cleveland there, so he does have the opportunity to turn it around. But with this being a week where you do start losing and gaining money, I think it is quite critical to make sure you are going in the right direction. So I can definitely see, like I said last week, we need to hold on Matty Golden. But yeah, look, I can definitely see why people are trading him out. Travis Hunter, I think at the start of the season, we're all in agreement. We don't know what his position's going to be. We don't really know how he's going to be used. And Jacksonville, I think, are going to rely more on that run game by the look of things at the moment. Travis Etienne's come back into his own. So, yeah, look, I definitely can see why people are getting rid of him. I also think there's other options out there, which we'll get into, that could be a bit more of a cash cowie, I suppose, and make you some more money. So, and they're also producing better. So if you want other options for point of differences, there's other options out there that we'll get into.
Yeah, I don't own Loveland. We spoke about that earlier in the season, and for similar reasons to you, Josh, I didn't go near him, and I'm pretty glad I didn't. I own the other three, and yeah, my big concern's Golden. His break-even's 14 this week, and it's very likely he probably won't reach that. He's just not getting much of the ball at the moment. So he's my biggest concern. The other two, I feel like they will still make money this week, even if it is a small amount. They're not going to lose me money, so I don't have to be stressing to rush and trade them out too quickly. But Golden is a massive concern.
Yeah, I'm more of the mindset that because I own, 1, 2, 3 of these guys, so I don't own Hunter. But for the other 3 guys, I'm a bit worried that if I don't jump off and jump onto better options, that I could be left behind. That's more, I think, the mindset. Get into trades I'm actually making a bit later on. But, I think that considering the options that are out there, it's the starts that these guys that have had is a bit concerning from my point of view.
Yeah.
Moving on, a couple guys here that will look together as well. So, actually, George Kittle's still on this list. Number 6 must traded out.
Yep.
Obviously, he's missing extensive time. Get rid of him if you got him.
Yep.
Another one that's going to miss a long period of time, Joe Burrow. So they say 3 months. So he had a grade 3 turf toe injury.
Yep.
Didn't look good. He's going to miss 3 months. If you've got Joe Burrow, obviously, like, you're trading him out.
Yeah, you got to get rid of him. I think off the back of this, though, don't be worried about Jamar Chase.
Agree.
He came through and scored 59 points this week. He proved why he is the best receiver. And he did all that production with backup quarterback Jake Browning, who I'm a fan of Browning. I always pick him up as if I've got players that aren't performing in my fantasy usually, I pick up Browning because Burrow is behind a terrible offensive line and gets hurt so much. So Browning's always a good plug and play. And he actually produces well. I do think, though, the concern is for Cincinnati and Eden. I know you're an owner, so you could probably talk more on this. Chase Brown, he's on this list of most traded out. I think for $16.61 million, you've got better options. I feel like he's going to lose a ton of cash. And they're going to be playing from behind a lot more. They've got a terrible defense. They've just lost one of the top 3 quarterbacks, top 5 quarterbacks, arguably, in the league. I think anyone outside of Jamar Chase on the Bengals is a risk at the moment.
Yeah, I'm pretty worried about him. Chase. Not Chase.
Chase Brown.
Chase Brown, yeah. I am, especially behind that O-line and without Burrow there. I think you're right about there being other options, especially a running back that plays for the Bills that is doing extremely well and around a similar price at the moment. He's going to lose money, and he really just hasn't showed much. It's been really pretty disappointing, to be honest, as an owner. And again, like, if at a third week in a row of below average scores, he'll drop money now. I'll drop rank further because that's someone that could have been scoring well. And I feel like this is probably a moving week where you need to be ready to make those tough decisions.
Yeah.
Because that first price change could really make or break your season.
Yeah, 100%, mate.
I'd say I'm not too worried. Like, maybe Chase Brown's a bit different. I'm not too worried about Jamar Chase personally. Like, Jake Browning rips the thing. Like, he came in at the end of 2023 and actually, like, lit it up back then, and, like, just, you know, he'll chuck it as well. Like, three picks.
Yeah,
not good in real life, but 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. It means he's at least, you know, they're chucking the thing and giving it a whirl.
Exactly.
Another guy on this list, number 5, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, look, I want to loop him in with Brock Bowers as well there. I think these guys, they're 2 of the premier people at their position. Brock Bowers, number 1 tight end going into this year, and Justin Jefferson, a top 3 receiver with Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb. I think they are the products of poor quarterback play. JJ McCarthy, who we spoke about last week, he's only had one good quarter of football out of 8. We can all be his harshest critics as we sit here on the couches. But
Happily.
look, he's, happily critique him. But, yeah, unfortunately, Justin Jefferson he's not in the best situation there, it looks like. McCarthy's out for at least a week. So Carson Wentz comes in, breaking a record, being I think he started for 6 different teams in 6 consecutive years, which has never happened before. So good on you, Carson. But yeah, I think there's a bit of a panic trade there with Justin as well. I didn't get him in this year because I wasn't sure about how McCarthy would play. And I feel like he just hasn't produced up to the same standard as you've got. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown scored 69 points on the weekend and he costs less. Malik Neighbours scored 66, he costs less. Rome Odunze scored 56 and he costs half. So there's just so many better options out there at the moment. I do think if McCarthy sort of starts getting into the swing of things, it's one of the big reasons why I didn't get Jefferson actually was what Eden said in the first couple of weeks about rookie quarterbacks and touchdowns. And it made me think, it takes a while for a rookie quarterback to get ready and used to things. So I'm sort of hoping Jefferson loses enough money that I can pick him up later in the year.
I actually prefer Wentz. I think this is going to be good for him this week.
Yeah,
in all seriousness, I wouldn't be training him out this week. I think this is probably the week to keep him.
It's a good point.
Wentz has experience. He's going to target the best receiver. They're taking on it's Jake Browning v Carson Wentz this week.
Fair.
Could be anything.
Superstars.
It's actually not a bad point.
I would definitely not be trading Jefferson, and I own Bowers as well, and he's a freak. We saw what he did last year. Just don't trade him yet.
Wentz, it's like every time he's involved in a play, it's like anyone could score a touchdown, and not just his team, like anyone on the other team could. Like a lineman could end up with it. He could be throwing left-handed passes, so that's always good value there too.
But yeah, as you said there, Eden, as well, just at the end, don't be trading Brock Bowers out yet either. I think Gino played one of the worst games of football he could have played in prime time today. It was horrendous.
If Gino could dish that up next time they play Denver, or the 2 times that they played Denver this year, that would be fantastic. I'd love it. And I think that my Broncos defense as well and Supercoach would love it as well.
He didn't complete a pass over 10 yards, and every pass over 10 yards resulted in incompletions, obviously, or in interceptions.
What's crazy is Gino is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL. He just had an absolute howler of a game. So I wouldn't be panicking on Brock Bowers yet. Like, he's going to be sweet. There was the injury cloud, but yeah, I wouldn't be panicking.
And just on that Chargers D is legit as well.
Yeah, so they're very good.
They're going to do that to a few teams.
Very, very good.
Moving on to our most traded in players. Number 1, we've spoken about him a couple times, Rome Odunze. He's 18.2% of trades this week, like a huge number. 8 or just over 8 million. He's got a ridiculous break even, -41.
Yep.
Like, he's just lit it up. Like, I think he's a great buy, and I think he's going to make a ton of cash for you.
Yeah, he seems to be Caleb Williams' number 1 weapon at the moment. Eden, I think you had some stats on Rome, did you?
Yeah, just first 2 weeks, 20 targets, which is incredible.
Yep.
3 touchdowns. He's on track for 1,500 yards for the season. He's for me, he's a must buy this week, especially with the price rise. He's going to go up 3 million plus, isn't he?
He's predicted to go up 3 million already, so he's going to put himself into that same echelon as what Zay Flowers and co started off at the start of the year. So I'm big on the Rome train as well. I think he's playing exceptionally well, and Ben Johnson, their head coach, he was, as we've spoken about before, at Detroit for the last couple of years, and he produced with Jamison Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I don't know, Odunze seems to be, he's got the potential to be maybe not as good as Amon-Ra, but he could be coming into that sort of same sort of category soon, or just under. So I'm a big fan of him as well. I could definitely see why people are getting him in during a week where he's going to make a lot of money, for sure. There's a couple of other people on that list that are looking pretty juicy as well.
Yeah, so he's the 4th highest scoring wide receiver so far this season, and a bloke that's done even better at a similar price tag in a different position though is Javonte Williams, who's the 2nd highest scoring running back.
I'm sold.
He's got 8.78 million. Here's the other, Javonte and Rome, they've by far, I think, the two most traded players this week.
Yep.
So 13 million, 8 million, 13% of trades as well. Yeah, Javonte Williams, geez, he looks the goods, and it looks like Dallas is just willing to feed him.
Yeah, that's it. We were talking about it last week, I believe, where Javonte Williams, when he was at the Broncos and was healthy, he was an amazing running back.
He was so good.
He was so good, and he's now 2-3 years removed from that injury, so he should be fully healthy, which he's showing it. Dallas have an amazing offensive line. They scored, 40-odd points this week?
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Now, Dallas with Micah going, we know that they're going to be having to be in shootouts all the time.
Yep.
So he's going to be on the field a fair bit, which he was on the weekend. A lot of people ate on the weekend, but I'm confident that there's no other running backs that I can see who are really going to take away carries or points from Javonte either. So he seems to be that clear-cut number one. And what's his break even at the moment? Minus 37, looking to make just under $3 million this week. Like, that's very, very juicy if you're that way inclined.
And I've got some stats. First two games, he's touched the ball 41 times.
Shit.
He's got 194 yards and 3 touchdowns. If someone is touching the ball 41 times in 2 games, they're probably a buy.
Yeah, 100%. That's quite insane.
The next guy makes me a little bit sad because I was on him to start the season when he had 2% ownership. I heavily debated getting him in to start the year and did not, and now I'm regretting it. It's Tucker Kraft, tight end for Green Bay. He looked awesome the other week.
He did look very, very good, mate. It's I don't know. There's something to me, like, I can't trust any of the wide receivers in Green Bay, but I could trust Tucker. He's not really on my radar just because I think I've got my 2 guys who are going to be starting basically the whole year. Yep. But yeah, I could definitely see why. If you want a point of difference, he's certainly the sort of bloke to come in and do that for you. He scored 42 points last week. Absolutely insane. To go with 17 the week before, which isn't that bad in the first week against a very tough defense. So
and Jordan Reed got injured as well, which, that opens up even more opportunity for Kraft. Even off with a shoulder injury that looked pretty serious.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think, and obviously Golden hasn't really stepped up like we thought he would. So, yeah, Tucker Kraft seems to be a no-brainer if you're looking for a point of difference at the tight end area. So, I could definitely see why 8% of trades have gone towards him this week.
Yeah, quickly touching on the next guy as well as Puka Nacua. So, he's one of these guys that, from my perspective, I think that Puka is a guy that he's really good when he's healthy, but he's just so reckless that I couldn't stand to watch him because I just feel like he'd get injured. Every play he's in, it feels like he's going to get injured. But, I mean, he's a certified gun. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think about Puka?
Mate, I completely agree with him. It says here he's in 14% of teams across the board. So, look, I was umming and ahhing getting him at the start of the year, but I don't like that he doesn't really score touchdowns. And I also was really worried about Matt Stafford's health, but I was also worried about how Puka would go with his health. So if he puts together a full season and can prove that he's going to be healthy, he's a clear-cut, like, top 8 receiver in the league. But he just hasn't shown that to me yet with the health side of things.
I wish I started with him. He looks incredible. He had a 50-yard rushing touchdown on the weekend.
Yeah.
He's doing it all. I'm not bringing him in for his price, but I tell you what, if you have him, you did well starting off with him.
Absolutely. Yep. Number 5 on this list, we'll just quickly brush past this. Lamar Jackson. Like, if you don't have Lamar and Josh Allen.
Yep, should have had him.
Or one of those other guys, just get them in. Like, simple as that. You need to have those 2 gun QBs. Number 6, Malik Neighbours. Bloke went well for you, Clutsy.
Yeah, mate. I was really iffy on whether I'd keep him. I believe I said that last week. But, look, it just looks like they played against a really good defense in the first week. And Russell Wilson just turned into God mode until he threw to a phantom person. But very happy with Neighbours' production. He proved why he's one of the best up-and-coming receivers in the league, and I'm definitely going to be sticking with him this week. He's got a break-even of 0. So, look, and he's coming up against Kansas City, who, I don't know, they're going to be out with a point to prove. Kansas will probably get the win there, but I'm hoping that Russell Wilson is a bit egged on from that first performance and can keep going from there.
Would you bring in Puka or Neighbours?
Dude, tough one, hey. I think At the moment, I'd probably bring in Puka because there's
same.
a little bit more upside with quarterback play and just general team. And I think because in Supercoach you can actually trade, unlike in fantasy, Puka's a bit more appealing there. But I love Neighbours though.
Yeah,
I love Neighbours. I think he's so good, and I'm excited for 2 years' time sitting here and talking about Neighbours as a Supercoach prospect when they've actually got a half decent team would be really exciting.
Number 7 most traded in play this week.
Danny Dimes.
Daniel Football Dimes.
What a guy.
16.49 million.
I just can't have it,
3.5% of people have him in.
Let's just put some respect on the guy who scored the second most points so far throughout the entire competition.
He's got a negative 21 break even and he's just about 16.5 million, negative 21 break even. Is it for real? Are we buying it?
This is this year's Sam Darnold. So Danny Dimes was in a terrible situation in New York. Let's have a look at how they're going. They're not going well. They've lost. They did have an absolute shootout this week, but Danny Dimes is behind a decent O-line. He's got a good supporting cast, a good defense. He's looking really, really good. I think as a point of difference, he could be up there. I'm still of the belief that Lamar and Josh Allen you have to have. But if you wanted to be that risk taker and really have a crack at shaking up the competition, Danny Dimes could be the guy. I think he's in a very, very weak division of AFC South.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have much competition. He's coming up against Tennessee this week, who their defense isn't that bad. L'Jarius Sneed's a great cornerback if he's healthy out there. But I think Danny Dimes, we could be coming back in a few weeks' time going, geez, wish we pulled the trigger on him and went a different way and spent our money elsewhere. But I love Danny Dimes.
I think you're sick in the head if you're getting him because you've got Lamar and Allen there that should be in your team, and then you should have a real cheapie like a McCarthy. But I just can't believe he's got 600 yards, 5 touchdowns in 2 games. Like, what is happening? But for the risk takers out there, the Danny Dimes truthers, tell you what, there might be worse options, but for me, it's Lamar and Allen and a proper cheapie on the bench.
It feels like we've seen this plenty of times before as well, where we get these quarterbacks that, you mentioned Darnold, like they go to a terrible situation. Like another one that comes to mind is like Baker Mayfield, who went to like terrible situation, bounced around, and then sort of found a home for himself, and now all of a sudden he's a gun QB in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily convinced that's the case here. Not saying it's not, but I'm going to need a bit more proof. First and foremost. But Clutsy, if you're a fan, right, so let's say you want Danny Dimes in your team, where's he actually, like genuinely, like where's he fitting in?
Dude, if I was to bring in Danny Dimes, I would be probably, this is crazy talk, but I would be looking at booting maybe a Josh Allen.
Oh, good Lord.
And then freeing up 12 mil and investing into either another clear-cut number 1 running back and another clear-cut number 1 receiver.
Please do it.
But I think that, I'm not going to because I'm not an idiot. I think my current strategy has been working well. But the other flip side, down the track, if there is an opportunity to bring him in as a third quarterback and then depending on matchups, switch him and then you've got the top 3. Like, let's crystal ball this. We're in week 10 and these Jackson, Jones, and Allen are the clear-cut 3 Supercoach quarterbacks.
I'm just not there.
This is the thing. You could be like, he's looking great. He is looking great. He hasn't been doing anything stupid. This happened with Darnold last year. Everyone who said Darnold couldn't do it looked like an absolute idiot by the end of the season. Danny Dimes is that guy this year. And I just like, when you're going up against like your Jaguars and Tennessee, like,
I admire your passion, but it's a no from me.
Yeah, I think I have to agree. Do we remember that last year the Saints, who were like one of the worst teams in the league now, they were 2-0 to start the year and they were scoring like 40 points, and we thought, geez, are the Saints actually good?
Yeah, then Derek Carr got injured. It's all about perspective. I'm also the guy sitting here, number 10 in the whole competition. So put some respect on my damn name. Fellas, I reckon though, there's two fellas we can loop here together. Two young guns. One's from Cleveland, one's from Denver. Harold Fannin Jr. and Troy Franklin. I think Fannin could be a huge point of difference and a great cash cow at the tight end position. $3.7 million to free up cash from, he's someone I could be looking at. I know I've got someone who's $6 or $7 million as my backup tight end. Could I free up that extra cash and make up that cash with Harold Fannin? Is something that I have been thinking about. He has been targeted so much in that offense as well. I believe he might actually be the most targeted Cleveland Browns player. And Joe Flacco loves a check down to a tight end. So I think I could definitely justify 3.4% of trades going to Harold Fannin so far. And Troy Franklin, I believe, was a receiver at Oregon for Bo Nix, so already has that college connection. I believe he had 9 targets, 8 receptions, and a touchdown today. So I think when you've got someone like a Travis Hunter or your Matthew Golden, Troy Franklin could be an option for you if you want to start making cash. Just having a look at him here, minus 31 break even, looking to go up 2.2 mil already. That's pretty juicy.
Yeah, I'm a Troy Franklin believer. As you may have guessed, as a Denver fan, I've got him in multiple draft fantasy leagues. So I'm absolutely stoked with how he's going at the moment. I think with Fannin, I think that, as far as I'm concerned, I reckon that he is the top option at tight end this week over Kraft, just because of the price.
Yep.
We might talk about that a little bit more later when we talk about cash cows, but I think that he's the number one option for me at tight end this week. Troy Franklin, he's been really good to start the season. And I think might need a little bit more proof to see if he can keep it up. But there's also some other really good options at receiver too.
Yeah, Franklin is someone that I'm seriously looking at, especially around straight swap for Golden, but we can talk about it later. I feel like getting 9 targets, you can't really go wrong when you've got someone at that price point getting targeted that much. And as you said, they've got that connection. So him and Bo Nix.
The last guy that's been the most traded in, he's the number one running back so far this year and was awesome on the weekend, was James Cook.
Kane.
Where does he rank among the top running back options? Should people be prioritizing someone like James Cook over some of these other guns? Like you look at your Bijan Robinson, Christian McCaffrey, even guys like Devon Achane. Would you go Cook over those guys? Or
controversial, but I don't ever really look at Cook. The reason being he's got Josh Allen there. So Josh Allen takes away a lot of goal line. He takes away a lot of rushing opportunities, rushing touchdowns. I think he is so good, but there's some weeks where he might have 6 touches for 10 yards.
Yeah.
It's a big risk reward. I think the reward is quite high, but me personally, I can't really justify having him over some of those other options that you're reading out just before.
I'm pretty interested. He's had 40 touches in his first 2 games, and I feel like there's been more of a, instruction to give him the ball, and even close to the goal line, 3 touchdowns already. As you said, next week, Allen could just keep it and run 3 himself, so that is a risk, but I have really liked what I've seen the first 2 weeks, and I am considering him, but it is also hard when you've got, your Barclays and your CMCs there that are very, very tempting as well.
So just for some stats from last year, this is what concerns me a little bit. So he scored 490 points across 15 games, which is an average of 30.6. But some of those games against Baltimore, he got 9. Against Tennessee, 18. The Rams, 7. He has some of those single-digit games in him that could cost you massively towards the end of the season.
God, he was good on the weekend, but...
He was so good on the weekend, but... I think when he's on, he's on. The only thing that makes me semi-interested in him is they did pay him big money. And you don't pay a running back big money if you're not going to want to use him. But I just think for me, he's got too many of those teen and single-digit scores that pop up. So
trade him with caution?
Trade him with caution is a great way of looking at it.
Alrighty. So before we go any further, before we get into our trade options and captaincy calls and the best cash cows, we've got to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Sasha Legal.
Yeah, think of them like your set and forget captain in the courtroom. No DMPs, no dud picks, just straight wins.
Exactly. When it comes to disputes and litigation, Sasha Legal is like locking in a premium QB1 as captain. No wasted trades. They don't loophole arguments. They just rack up points week after week.
And let's be real. In Supercoach, we all make rookie mistakes at some point. But in law, you don't want that. Sasha Legal is the premium pick. The point of difference that always delivers.
Your case is their grand final. Every move counts, and Sasha Legal plays the full 80 or the full 4 quarters if you're thinking NFL.
So if you need serious legal muscle off the field, lock them in. Sasha Legal, your captain's choice for litigation. They have offices in both Sydney and Brisbane, but it doesn't matter where you're based. Reach out and they can look after you. To do so, just flick them a message on Instagram at sasha.legal. Call them on 073185 2404 or email at info@sashalegal.com.au.
Very good. So moving on now to our top cash cows ahead of the price rises next week. For the sake of this argument, even though I think these are the top 2 guys in this order,
Yep.
but I'm disqualifying them because everyone's already got them.
Yep.
It's Emeka Ibuka and Tyler Warren.
Yep.
Like, I think almost everyone has them. If you don't have them, get in those 2 guys this week. Like, they have to be your priority just about, especially Ibuka. Like, just absolute dead set. Like, he is the best cash cow.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Ibuka is the clear-cut number 1 rookie receiver this year. If you don't have him, you're an idiot. Same with Tyler Warren. Pat McAfee is describing Tyler Warren as the greatest tight end in the league. So he might be a Colts fan, so there could be a little bit of mayo on that one, but I am of the same opinion that Tyler Warren is just amazing. Those 2 are going to be guys who, like, they start off as cash cows, but they're probably going to be people that you must keep in your team for majority of the year. If you don't have them yet, you're an idiot.
Yeah, Tyler Warren's been unbelievable to start the season. But moving on, a couple of guys we've already spoken about, the top cash cows, even though these guys have a little bit more price, I think the top 2 guys are Rome Odunze and Javonte Williams.
Yeah, completely agree, mate. I think Odunze, as we said earlier, he is becoming or is now Caleb Williams' number 1 weapon in that offense. And I seriously do think he has the potential to, in this offense, become someone like an Amon-Ra St. Brown. They didn't take him in the first round for nothing last year. He's going to grow with Caleb Williams. He's getting plenty of targets. As Eden said, those 20 targets and 3 touchdowns in a competition where you get, in Supercoach, for example, where you get 1 point per reception. Like, in a perfect world, that's 20 points in 2 weeks from just catching the ball. So, yeah, I think he's going to make a lot of money, over $3 million this week, and I can't see his production going down.
Yeah, I think it's a similar sort of case for Javonte Williams, just because I think even though it's $8 million, is a little bit pricier than some of these other like true bottom dollar cheapies. I think that looking at the end of the season, there's a fair chance you're looking at him among the most expensive guys, like not necessarily like your Barclays or whatever, but sort of in that next tier, the 18, 19 million.
Yeah. I wasn't sure about Williams at the start of the season, but after watching 2 weeks of that offense, he's such a focal point. I feel like you've got to get him in while you can, because his price is just going to keep going up. He's touching the ball so much, and he's making a lot of bloody yards every time he gets the ball. So,
100%.
Yeah, he should be right in the top of your list.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. He'll be someone I'll be looking to bring in depending on his future production. But yeah, he's an absolute cash cow option at the moment.
Absolutely. Number 3, guy that we spoke about a little bit earlier as well, Harold Fannin Jr., the tight end. He is like proper bottom dollar, just about. And yeah, 3.7 million. Like, he's the number 1, I think, backup tight end option behind the 2 guns.
I agree, mate. You said earlier you could argue with Tucker Kraft, but I think Fannin Jr. is going to be that number 1 there. And Joku's not getting any younger in that Cleveland offense. And also, like, they're just getting pumped. So they need to – the best thing in a bad team is having a tight end that can catch, because they're so close. They're not really going far down the line. I just think as well, Njoku's a bit of a better blocker. So now, look, they've taken him in the 3rd round for a reason. He's a pass-catching tight end, and around that 3.7 mil or 3.07 mil, whatever he costs, like, that's just absolute money-making material for us there. Like, he's predicted to make 1.24 already. So, I can't see any signs of him slowing down. I'll be sticking with him.
On a terrible team, he's the safe option. Like,
Yeah.
They might only be going 5 yards, but every time he catches that ball, you're getting points. So I think he's a great option.
Another guy as well that, it makes me feel stupid when I see that he only scored 3 points, but I think is still a good option is Jakob Merritt.
Yep.
Break even right now of -13. The reason why I think he's a really good option is we just had Austin Eckler sadly go down. He'll be out for the season. He's on injured reserve. He's I believe tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's gone. Jakob Merritt. He suddenly becomes the top option in the backfield there.
Yep.
In Washington. So don't be spooked by 3 points last week.
Yeah, I think the biggest, as you said, so Eckler is out for the season. The biggest telltale sign for Krosky Merritt was they traded Brian Robinson Jr. to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, you don't get rid of someone who was a focal point of your offense in a tandem running back situation if you don't think that the guy that you drafted in the 4th round or whatever it was can come in and produce. So, yeah, I think Jakob Merritt's going to be fine. Like he's definitely, like you got your Hamptons, you got your Hendersons, you got your Jantis. Everyone has those three. They're not really doing too well to start with. So I think he could be a good point of difference going forward, and he might actually see a bit more of time, like snaps on the field than like your Hamptons or your Hendersons at the moment, purely because they're just running thin at that running back position. Like Henderson and Hampton have Ramondre Stevenson and Najee Harris, proven veterans who just truck nut to contend with.
I will say Daniels does rush the ball a bit, so just be wary of that.
Yeah.
Don't expect huge scores early, but I mean, he's going to make you money, and at this stage of the season, that's almost all you want. You can stick him on your bench and just watch the cash come in.
Yeah, 100%.
Just quickly, just touching on another guy that I think is also a very good option at running back, and he's got a lower break even, -25, is Dylan Sampson, who's running back from Cleveland. So he only had 4 carries on the weekend, but he had 3 receptions and a touchdown as well. They've been targeting him a lot, so I think he's another one to look out for as well, particularly in the weeks to come.
See, I'm going to go against the grain there because Quinshon Judkins, who has questionable morals, has just come back into the lineup and instantly became the number 1 running back for the Cleveland offense. Had 10 carries for 61 yards, I believe. I've actually got some stats on Sampson last week. So in the first week, he scored 24 points. He had 33 snaps, ran 15 routes, had 12 carries, and he only had 8 less snaps than Jerome Ford. Where he now go forward, he's only had 4 carries and 3 receptions as soon as Judkins comes back in. They're both rookie running backs. Sampson will make you money this week, but I feel like with minimal trades and going forward, Judkins to already get 10 carries off the bat and being a 2nd round running back as opposed to Sampson, who was a 4th round running back, I just think could be like a short-term cash gain, yes, but long-term, I think Judkins could be a bit better for you.
I'm just not touching any of the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I think
that too.
To your point, I think Judkins as well. I think the thing that actually works in his favour is those questionable morals and him sitting out for a week, because it means that he'll get the price rise a week later than everyone else. So, so for Judkins, even though he had all those touches, you don't need to trade him in this week. He's potentially one to look at for next week.
Yeah.
So moving on now, our trades for this week. I'm going to start with you, Clutsy, since you seem to be the all-knowing, the all-wise.
Yeah, righto.
What moves are you making this week, mate?
Shout out to the bloke who actually messaged me and said that I give him a bit of a rugby league guru vibe. That's, yeah, God, we could look the same, I'm not sure. But I'm feeling like a bit of an NFL guru at the moment. But my trades this week, now I've ummed and ahed about it. I was like, you know what, I don't really need to make a trade. But with price rises and all that jazz, I didn't want to get behind the 8 ball, and I think there's just a couple of options that I had to jump on before I missed out. So I've got rid of Matthew Golden and I've brought in Rome Odunze. I don't know if I'll be starting him yet. I probably will. Who I start him over, though, that's the issue. But I'm more so keen on that price rise. Like, as it stands, I'm predicted to get Odunze up 3.24 mil, Igbuka up 2.89. My mission by the end of this will be to get people up and have the top receivers. Like, I want to make that cash, so I've got all the top guys by the end of the season. And I think this is one way I can do it. My other trade, I've got rid of Brenton Strange, who I was pretty high on at the start of the year.
Sad.
I don't know. Yeah, very sad about that one. Poor one out for the big fella. But I don't really know what's happening with the passing offense. I've got Strange in a lot of fantasy leagues and draft leagues. I've got other receivers from Jacksonville in other draft leagues as well. And it's just like, I don't know if I can trust any of them. So I've replaced him with Fannin Jr., which reduces me down from that 6 or 7 mil down to 3.7 for Fannin Jr. He's got a break even of minus 15, so he's going to make points. He's going to make cash. 1.2 mils predicted at the moment. And he's not going to be playing for me ahead of Warren or Bowers at this stage. So I'm happy to have him sit there and just be that plug-and-play option for the Cleveland offense. They are coming up against Green Bay, which is slightly concerning because Green Bay have looked awesome this year. However, I have actually brought Green Bay Packers as a defense in.
Nice.
I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with defense at the start of the year, and I'm sort of looking at it now. Green Bay might not necessarily have scored the most points. They scored 10 points this week and 20 points last week. But I just think going forward, they are going to be the clear-cut number one defense. Micah Parsons is going to play more and more snaps throughout the year. Their next games that they've got coming up, Cleveland, Dallas, Cincy, then Arizona, then Pittsburgh, where Aaron Rodgers came back down to earth, Carolina, then they play Philly, and then they've got the Giants. Like, there's so many juicy matchups here that I think we're going to get a lot of points out of Green Bay. I needed to get rid of the Baltimore defense. Now, I only kept them in because they played against Cleveland on the weekend. But Baltimore's run, and the reason why I've got rid of them going forward is they have, in the next couple of weeks, Detroit, Kansas, Houston, Rams, Chicago. Then they got Miami and Minnesota and Cleveland and the Jets, whatever. But
Also
they've got a
buying
lot of difficult games.
Yeah, also buying there for them.
Yeah.
As well.
I'm at the moment tossing up whether to use a boost or not. I haven't decided yet, but the two that I think I have locked in, Golden to Franklin, seems pretty straightforward. Golden's probably going to lose money this week, and Franklin's probably going to make a lot of money this week.
Yep.
And the other one that I think I'm going to bite the bullet, I'm going to get rid of Chase Brown and bring in Javonte Williams.
Ooh.
Which I'm really worried about Chase Brown at the moment in that Bengals outfit. The
Yep.
O-line is struggling. They've lost their quarterback. I just don't know what it's going to look like for him moving forward.
Yeah.
He's going to lose money this week, I think, and I'm not entirely sure he's going to be a season-long keeper. So, to be honest, I'd rather get rid of him before he loses too much money. And Javonte's going the other way. He just is touching the ball so much, scoring touchdowns, making money. So, pretty easy swaps for me.
Yeah, that's good.
So I had 8.75 million in the bank going into this week. And so those three struggling rookies that I had, Golden, Hampton, and Loveland, I don't have any of them anymore. They're all gone. So instead in their place, so Loveland's gone to Fannin. I think it's just a straightforward one. Like, it's a downgrade in terms of cash, but I think a big upgrade in terms of it. He's actually going to make you a stack of it in the long run. Will Fannin. I've gone Hampton out, and the reason is, one of the big reasons is that not only is he struggling, I think that I'm spooked by that fumble that he had in that Monday Night Football game. Whether he'll be trusted going forwards after that, it's hard to say. But I think Williams is just a much better option at even a bit pricier. But I'm glad that I had that money in the bank to go from Hampton up to Williams, and also my next trade, Golden out, Odunze in. I just think that between Odunze and Williams, we've spoken about them. They're the two most traded in guys this week for a reason. They're going to make you, I think, a stack of cash going forward. I think Williams is a guy that potentially, if he keeps getting absolutely fed, you could still have in your team, towards the end of the year. Odunze maybe not so much. I think that eventually you'll look to upgrade him to one of those genuine guns. But I think as for right now, Those are my trades. Fannin, Williams, Odunze in, Loveland, Hampton, Golden, goodbye. You are off the team.
Love it.
Yeah, what I will say is if I didn't trade out the Baltimore D, I was going to trade out Travis Hunter for Franklin. What I am thinking, and this is sort of my thinking going forward, is because I've currently got $3.5 million left in salary. So what I'm thinking, and I was sort of tossing it up before but forgot to mention, I know I've got rid of Golden and gone to Odunze, but I have been thinking of going to Franklin instead. Odunze has just got such a high trade-in rate at the moment. He is going to make all that cash, but it does free up more because long-term I'm wondering, I love Bucky Irving, but I think there is an opportunity for me to trade him. He's 14.97 to a better running back in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
And if trading out Odunze, if going to Franklin and then keeping him to make cash over the next few weeks rather than Odunze, I don't know. I'm just...
Your brain's everywhere.
My brain's everywhere at the moment, guys, and I'm just sort of thinking, like, do I want to have more salary left in the tank or should I invest it in more people and keep that coin going? I'm happy to keep some in the tank, but look, Odunze's against Dallas this week, so that's another juicy option. It's just, there's a lot of different things happening. I think as well, captaincy-wise this week is a real difficult one. I think I'm going to go Josh Allen.
Yep.
I think he's going to bounce back this week. He's got Miami. Miami stink.
They're giving up 33 points a game.
Miami had a players-only meeting before week 2 of the season. They're done. They're absolutely done. Nothing good has ever come out of a players-only meeting.
Yeah, not often a sign of good morale, that is. I think Allen as well historically scores well against them. 54.4 points, Supercoach points per game against Miami in his career, it's a big sample size too, obviously, division rivals, so he's played them 14 times. I think the other big option is I think it's just going to be between these two guys most weeks. But for contrast, Lamar Jackson, he's got Detroit this week. Even though he averages 53 against them, he's only played them twice as well. I just think it's just probably a more sure thing, even though I thought probably Allen was a pretty good bet last week and it didn't work out for me. I don't care. I'm saying true. Josh Allen, welcome to captaincy once again in week 3.
And we get to watch it in prime time as well. So,
lovely.
Which is always great. So it's Friday. Getting to watch your captain ball out is always good.
Yeah, day off work. Thank you very much. We'll be sitting down to enjoy that game, I think. So, I think, are we all in agreement that Josh Allen's probably the best option this week?
Yep, and I really hope he doesn't let me down again. But
I think if you want to go a bit of a point of difference this week, Amon-Ra St. Brown could be one for me. Not 100% sure on that one yet, but I reckon Amon-Ra St. Brown could be a sneaky little option against Baltimore, which seems a bit crazy, but Detroit is so talented. They're so talented. I could see he's coming off the back of a 3-touchdown game, which is going to be very hard to replicate, obviously, but he just gets so many touches in that Detroit offense. Also, I just want to touch on, right at the end here, I messaged in the SC Playbook chat this week that I'm not as concerned about Gibbs and St. Brown now as what I was last week. I think going up against...
will do that for you.
Yeah, a whole heap of points, but that Green Bay team just made Washington look like a second-rate team, and they're arguably going to be number 2 or 3 in that division this year. So I think anyone that's coming up against the Packers is going to have a really, really, really difficult time at this stage. Micah Parsons hasn't even been cleared to play 100% of snaps yet. So, look, Gibbs came out and St. Brown came out and proved that they're still those guys. So very, very happy with that. I think if you have someone who has a bad game against Cleveland, don't worry too much. Against Green Bay, don't worry too much. It's going to happen a lot this year.
Yep. Very good. So I think that's all we have time for this week's edition of the SC Playbook NFL podcast. Make sure you subscribed to us here, wherever you're watching, whether it's YouTube or listening on Apple or Spotify. We'll be bringing this to you every week. So make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss an episode. As well, of course, weekly articles from the team of contributors, including these boys, scplaybook.com.au. So make sure that you're checking those out. As well, socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at SC Playbook NFL. So chuck us a like there. And also, quickly, the unlimited league code, Clutsy's looking to take it out. If you think you can knock him off, 819-860. Once again, 819-860. $1,000 if you win that and you're a subscriber. So make sure that you check back in. Next week, we'll be recapping week 3 of the NFL and price rises. They're coming. Make sure that you're tuning in next week to see how that all goes, and we'll see you then.